What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. And this is where we at here. So, apparently on TikTok, this thing called black fatigue that's going around. Now, from what I've gathered, it's a complicated situation. Apparently, there's been a lot of Caucasian people that are coming out saying that they're tired of the way that black people have been acting in society in today's time and things like that. And at the same time, though, too, there's also black people, as you can clearly see, that are tired of it as well. And it's becoming a huge issue because once upon a time, black people in this country had a upstanding decorum. They had a moral compass that we used to live by and things like that. I grew up with those type of people and things like that. It just was different. But nowadays it's completely off the rails. Even I agree with that. Definitely in the black community, it's completely off the rails out here, man. It's a lot of debauchery and chaos and stupidity going on. So I'm going to dive off into this, and you're going to come with me as well. So we're going to go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Well, let's talk. This is the first time I'm hearing this phrase on TikTok, but I could use context clues and understand what it is. So, funny story, I'm scrolling on TikTok, minding my own business, just getting lost in the videos, and a white woman pops up in my algorithm, and it's titled Black Fatigue. And I'm like, this should be interesting. Now, this is a creator that I've really grown to respect their videos. Basically, in her video, she's calling out the black community for different ignorant things that we do. And it's not just her. I've seen a lot of white people on this app kind of come out. It's almost like, raise your hand if you've been personally victimized by Regina George type of videos. And that's what they're doing toward black people. Here's the thing. The videos that I've personally seen is not racism. It's accountability. It's one of those to where they are tired. They are fed up to where they have opened their camera and they start confessing the things that agitate them about the black community. And because we have gotten to that point, you know who I blame? The black community. I mean, for one, the actions that they are mentioning is clearly from the black community. Black people in the comment sections are just like, this is racism, this is this, and this is this. I blame y'all. This is what happens when the black community cry wolf or cry racism in instances that's not racism, to where now we have a hard time knowing the difference between what is actually racism and what is actually accountability. We've allowed this to happen because we do not like being held accountable for some of the ignorance, some of the degeneracy, some of the just plain right foolishness that comes out of our community. We refuse to address it. And when we have people who address it, they are called coons. They are called like judgmental. And so now you have white people entering the chat and said, you know what? We're tired of it. We're tired of being called racist for holding y'all accountable to the ignorant things that's happening.
Right. Listen, look.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
And this is where we at right here. This is where we at. And I guess I'm a coon. I guess, I'm saying, things like that, I'm saying. And yes, because I see it too. I see it too. And it's crazy to me, especially coming from, I'm an early millennial. I remember a time before time. And, of course, things changed once technology kicked in. And I remember a time before technology kicked in, and people, especially in the black community, we move different. Now, were we all perfect? No, no race, culture, creed, whatever is perfect. That's impossible to be. All I'm saying is, though, we did have a sense of morality. We dressed different back then. We carried ourselves in a different way. We knew when it was time for certain things. When it was time and place for certain things, I'll put it that way. And nowadays, we don't have the decorum to know when it's time and place. You know what I'm saying? Our women walk out here looking crazy sometimes, things like that. Some women do, definitely, though. But these are the images that get portrayed definitely on the internet, definitely for everybody to see, things like that. They're out here with, crazy bonnets on all the time, looking stupid, Listen, look, ladies, do your damn hair. I grew up in an era where women just had hot combs and stuff like that, pomade, and things like that. If y'all remember old school pomade, yes, ladies, get some pomade. That will make your hair grow.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Stop using all this new age crap. Go back old school. Go back old school. You could grow your own damn hair. You know what I'm saying? And wear your own hair. You know, all these wigs women wear all the damn time and stuff like that. It's you're not your natural head is not getting the sunlight that it needs. You are, especially black women, you need the sun. You are of the sun. You need the sun to help your head grow, and it also will help you mentally think better. If you get the natural rays from the sun, it will help you think better. You know, it's crazy to me to see the way that the black community has gone with all of our things that we're doing. You know, a lot of our young men are out here, walking around with their pants hanging off their tails all the time and stuff like that. And it looks very much crazy. It looks very much wild. Growing up in my generation and things like that, early millennials, we wasn't sagging. Now, the thing of this is, which is the trick in the game, we used to wear baggy clothes in my generation. We wore baggy clothes. So it did appear like we were sagging, but we were not sagging. We had belts on and stuff like that. We were not sagging. The clothes they were baggy, so it looked like we were sagging, but we were not. And it's crazy to me to see what's going on here. And then, a lot of these young men walk around here with these super tight ass clothes on. It's like, how are you breathing, son? How are your family jewels breathing out here? This is crazy. It's wild to me. And to see a lot of our young men engaging in street activity, deleting each other at high numbers and things like that. For the rest of the cultures in America to see us the way that we are now, and let's just keep it real. The rest of the cultures are not stupid either. They remember our ancestors, the civil rights movement. They remember all that stuff too. They know how we used to carry ourselves. They know this too. And you know what I'm saying? We used to have the serious moral high ground in this country and things like that, but it's gone now. And it's sad to see it that way, and it's sad to see that we've come to this point right here to where our children are at dire straits. Our homes are truly broken, and our community is just at this stage to where we can't build anything. We can't achieve anything as a collective of people and things like that, to where we can actually, keep maintenance on our community and keep growing like the rest of like other communities of other races do. It's sad though. So we're going to go here now, and we're going to see what this gentleman has to say here about what he's feeling about black fatigue. And he's not the only white person that I've seen, Caucasian, whatever, that I've seen speak upon this situation and things like that. And they are outside looking in, but at the same time though too, it gets complicated. It's entities and stuff like that that kind of added up to where situations happen throughout the decades and stuff like that, where our community kind of ended up this way. But this is the thing here. A lot of things may have been forced upon us in our community, but the problem is still for us to deal with. We have to deal with the problem now. Few things, things were forced upon us or are thrown in our obstacles were thrown in our way as a community, but it's our problem to fix, and we need to fix it. So let's go here now. Let's see what this gentleman has to say about the situation. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Black fatigue. It's all over my FYP page. Thank you. I am so happy that this is being brought up. And oh, by the way, For us white people that have been around the block a long time, this isn't new to us. We've been dealing with this for over 40 years. Here's my story. This is about 2015. I'm at Put-in-Bay. Put-in-Bay's on South Bass Island in Lake Erie. There's a bunch of bars out there. It's a great place for adults to go play. Think of Pat Daly, Mad Dog Adams. If you don't know those guys, think of Jimmy Buffett. I'm sitting on a bench on Delaware waiting for my wife, who's in a shop shopping. And at the time, the traffic is two ways. And I think I witnessed why it is no longer two ways. It's a Saturday afternoon. The island is packed. The traffic is bumper to bumper. These two guys going in opposite directions decide to stop and have a chat. Not for a couple seconds, not for a couple minutes, but I think it was around 10 minutes before people started to threaten them. But around the 5-minute mark, I'm just sitting there with my arms folded, just shaking my head. And I hear this voice. This is what's holding us back. This is why we're hated. And I turned around to see who had said it, and it was a black couple about my age. And then he looked directly at me and said, 30 years ago, I'd go down there, grab those idiots by their dreadlocks, and teach them a lesson their fathers never did.
Now, before he keeps going, this is the thing here. Now, the scenario that he presented was that you had a bunch of ignorant people stop in the middle of the road to have a conversation. Now, I've witnessed this myself, definitely in the Black community. I've witnessed this wholeheartedly. You know, I've been driving down my block or any other street, definitely, you know, whatever. And I've seen to where individuals would stop in the middle of the damn street and hold a full-fledged conversation. I'm like, why won't you pull over and get out your vehicles or whatever you're going to do, pull over and let traffic flow? But sometimes some of these idiots as Black people feel so entitled.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Yes, this burns me up because I've witnessed that with my own two eyes, where you would get two Negroes that would stop in the middle of the street to have a conversation in different cars. They stopping they're holding up traffic to talk about nonsense. Nonsense. Because I guarantee you they ain't talking about opening up no Fortune 500 corporation. Now you could take me as you want to, or you know, I'm racist against Black people, whatever you want to talk about out the side of your necks. That's good. Keep talking. But all I'm saying is though, I've been witness to this same crap, and it burns my rawhide soul to see something like that happen. I wish I could fire something at these people. That burns me up. I'm on my way to work trying to make my honest living, and you see two bats stop in the middle of the street trying to talk about nothing. I guarantee you they're talking about nothing. And you're holding up from me getting to my money. Man. And I've seen Black people do this. I've seen it.
And I looked at him and went, 30 years ago, I'd have been right there with you. I have hated this type of behavior my entire life. I've never gotten it. How self-centered do you have to have no respect for any other human being? It's all about you. These are the people I've spent my life avoiding. But I had never thought about it from the Black community side. And I gotta say, it sucks a lot more for you guys than it does for us white people, because you're associated with it, right? There are a lot of whites that just put you all together, and it has slowed down the healing of this country. But seriously, 40 years ago, racism should have been over. Unfortunately, the Democratic Party has continued to fan the flames of racism to make money and to get votes.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Oh, didn't know that was coming up. Didn't know that was coming up. Okay. Didn't know that part was coming up. Yeah, definitely that. Yeah, that's definitely been going on. You know, Yeah, y'all keep voting for him. That's fine. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of thinking for yourself. But that's neither here nor there. Let's keep going.
I'm so thankful that a lot of you are waking up to this. And again, I can't stress this enough. This isn't a black thing. This is a behavior thing. Some of my closer friends are black, and I love and appreciate them. And I'm very thankful that they have not allowed the crappy behavior out of some to drag them down. Well, I hope you're having a great day. I hope to see you.
Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to that. This type of information needs to be heard. We need to hear from people outside of our race and culture. Because what I'm saying, these people see what we do on a daily, just like we see what they do, things like that. We see what they do too. We know the history of America and what happened, things like that. And we know what happened with the situation in the drug culture, what happened late 70s, early 80s, all types of things, what kind of, added on to our, situation as far as black people. We get it, things like that. But at this point, it's up to us to deal with the problem. Sorry, but it is up to us to deal with the problem. It's going on long enough. This has gone on long enough, and we have to stop. We have to start. Working as a culture, as black people, collectively, to try to rearrange this thing. We have to try to separate the individuals from the ignorant people. Every culture does that. You got, people in the Japanese culture, that separate themselves from the Yakuza. The Italians that separate themselves from the mafia. Every culture does it. It separates themselves from the ignorant people within their culture, because it's going to be ignorant people within every culture. It doesn't matter, whatever. It just don't matter. It's going to be people in every culture that's not going to be upstanding citizens. But the problem is definitely over here in America, the Black African American community allows too much of the ignorant side of our community to be promoted versus the individuals that are productive, creative, and logical thinking type of citizens that want to see the best for our community and want the best structure and dynamics for our, children and men and women to grow and be better citizens. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.